All right, so let's talk about the Montreal Jazz Festival 2025 programming. I do think, in general, it's a very strong year. I will say the most interesting music to me is in the third tier, in the tiny print. And that was the visceral emotion I had in looking at the programming announcement yesterday that legendary artists like Gary Bartz and Vijay Iyer and Wadada Leo Smith and Azimuth were in the tiniest font, the last paragraph. I understand that every artist has to go somewhere on the poster, and it's a question of who the Jazz Fest thinks they're promoting to, whether they're promoting to connoisseurs or whether they're promoting to Monsieur, Madame, tout le monde. In an ideal world, I would say if you still use the word jazz in your name, you have some sort of responsibility to put some of the art and the tradition first. And I just felt some kind of way about seeing artists with a 50-year career like Azimuth and Gary Bartz getting lower billing than artists who are on their first album or who are just starting to make their career. That being said, I don't want to hear a complaint about there's not enough jazz at this year's jazz festival until people have gone through all the lines of all the programming. There is a lot of jazz and improvised music, some really interesting choices being made that are buried in that fine print. So if you haven't gone through the programming with a fine-tooth comb, I don't want to hear anybody complaining that there's not enough jazz. There are also quite a lot of locals in this year's festival. So overall, kudos to the programming team. I think this year is going to be a great one. I would just urge all of you to really go through the programming and look for the hidden gems and the surprises. And a final thought, there are lots of artists who have not performed at the Jazz Fest in a long time. There are a lot of artists who have never been here, or who at least have never been here in the close to 25 years that I've been living in Montreal. So if there's an artist you want to see perform at the Montreal Jazz Festival, or any festival for that matter, write the programmers, leave a comment on their Instagram, and let them know who they are. They are doing the best they can with the data that they have. But if they don't realize that there's an audience for X artist, they're not going to take the risk and book them. So if there's an artist you want to see, let them know. All right. See you in the next video. Peace.